All my life, I was treated like the live-in maid of my own family. Scrubbing floors, serving dinners, never being seen. But last week, standing under the bright lights as a CEO shook my hand for a $4 million contract, I finally understood my worth, and everything changed. Join our journey to 1K subscribers. Subscribe now to hear true-to-life drama and twists you won't see coming. I grew up in a small, two-story house in suburban Texas, the oldest of 3 siblings. From the outside, we looked like a normal middle-class family, but inside, my life was nothing like my friends. From the time I was 10, I woke up before dawn to make breakfast, iron uniforms, and clean the kitchen before anyone else even opened their eyes. My parents rarely called me by my name. Instead, they barked orders. Clean up the mess. Serve your brother. Don't sit until everyone's done. They said it was teaching responsibility. But it felt more like I was their live-in maid. My younger siblings were pampered, allowed to sleep late, go out with friends, and enjoy weekends. I stayed behind. Scrubbing floors and folding laundry. School was my only escape. One loved drawing floor plans and decorating sketches in the margins of my notebooks, dreaming of beautiful spaces far away from my cramped bedroom. But whenever I came home with good grades, my parents barely looked up. If my siblings brought home a C, there was applause. If I brought home an A, there was silence. On my 16th birthday, I didn't get a cake or a gift. Instead, my mom handed me a list of chores for the party they were throwing. Not for me, but for my dad's work friends. That night, as I refilled drinks and cleared plates, I made myself a promise. One day, I'd design places so grand and beautiful that no one could ever look down on me again. That spark, the desire to create, to escape, became the secret fire I held inside while everyone else saw only the maid. College felt like a world I wasn't allowed to enter. My parents didn't want to pay for it, insisting I should stay home and help the family. But I refused to let their narrow vision trap me. I applied for every scholarship and grant I could find, stayed up late writing essays, and eventually landed a full ride to a state university known for its interior design program. Moving into my tiny dorm room felt like stepping into freedom. For the first time, nobody was shouting orders at me. I worked part-time at a coffee shop to cover my expenses, and every night I sketched designs until my fingers cramped. My professors noticed my determination. One even called me the most driven student I've ever taught. Their words were like water to a plant. I'd been starving for years. Still, life wasn't easy. On weekends, I picked up shifts at a local furniture store, arranging showrooms and advising customers. It was exhausting, but it gave me hands-on experience. Slowly, my vision sharpened. I didn't just want to design rooms. I wanted to create experiences that made people feel valued, respected, and at home. The very things I had been denied. In my senior year, an opportunity appeared that seemed too big for someone like me. A prestigious architecture firm was holding a nationwide student competition for an upscale hotel interior. The winner's design would be pitched to investors. It was a long shot, but I poured every ounce of my energy into it. Nights without sleep, weekends lost to sketching and modeling. When the results came out, my hands trembled opening the email. I had won first place. Suddenly, my name was on their website alongside phrases like innovative, fresh, and visionary. That victory became my passport to a new life. Soon after graduation, I joined a mid-sized firm in Dallas. Within 3 years, I'd built a reputation for bold, human-centered designs. Clients started requesting me by name, and I was invited to pitch for contracts far larger than I'd ever imagined. But the moment that truly changed everything was still ahead, a meeting that would bring me face-to-face with the CEO who would recognize my worth in a way my parents never had. 3 years into my job at the Dallas firm, my work caught the attention of Horizon Group, a massive real estate company known for its luxury hotels. They invited our team to pitch for the redesign of their flagship property, a contract rumored to be worth millions. I spent weeks preparing my presentation. Every detail, from the color palette to the flow of the lobby, had a reason behind it. I wanted guests to feel like they were walking into a story, not just a building. When the day finally came, My hands shook as I set up my boards and renderings in a sleek glass conference room. The CEO, a tall man in his 50s named Daniel Carrington, walked in with a small entourage. He glanced over the other presentations politely, but when it was my turn, he leaned forward, studying each slide as I spoke. I explained my vision, my approach to sustainable materials, and how the design would elevate their brand. By the time I finished, the room was silent. Then he smiled, a slow, deliberate smile. "This," he said, tapping my final rendering, "is exactly what we've been looking for." 2 weeks later, the firm called me into a meeting. Not only had Horizon Group chosen our proposal, but Daniel Carrington himself had specifically requested me as the lead designer. The contract was valued at $4 million. My name was literally on the win. For the first time, my worth wasn't hidden in the shadows or dismissed as luck. Someone powerful had seen my talent, respected my work, and given me the platform my own family had refused to believe I deserved. News of the Horizon Group contract spread quickly through the local paper and LinkedIn. My inbox overflowed with congratulations from old professors, colleagues, and even strangers. But what stunned me most was the sudden message from my parents. They wrote as if the last decade of insults had never happened. "We're so proud of you. Let's celebrate. We always knew you had it in you." My father even called, his voice syrupy, telling me they'd love to see the hotel project in person. I sat in my sunny Dallas apartment, phone pressed to my ear, listening to their rehearsed warmth. In my mind, images of scrubbing their floors and missing school rehearsals flickered like an old movie reel. For years they treated me like a maid, a servant in my own childhood home. Now that a CEO worth millions had praised me and my name was tied to a $4 million contract, suddenly I was their golden child. I took a breath. "I'm glad you saw the article," I said calmly. "But this isn't your win. It's mine. You didn't support me when I needed you most, and I'm not interested in playing family now that it's convenient." There was a stunned silence on the line. My father mumbled something about forgiveness and new beginnings, but I was already done. I ended the call, closed my laptop, and went back to sketching a new lobby concept. Outside my window, the Dallas skyline glowed in the late afternoon sun. For the first time, the weight of their expectations had lifted completely. This was my life now built on my terms. My hard work and my vision. No apologies, no permission. Just freedom.